Right now in Madrid, at the Taja Magica, a massive media earthquake is hitting, and it has nothing to do with Iga Swiatek or Arina Sabalenka. Thousands of screaming fans are completely paralyzing the stadium walkways. Spain's biggest sports outlets are churning out front-page headlines every single hour. All this chaos, it is for a 20-year-old who just barely cracked the top 30. These scenes are wild. It feels like a Grand Slam final, but it is just a routine practice week. We are talking about Alex Eala, currently ranked around number 29. The world is seeing the kind of media insanity usually reserved for icons like Rafa Nadal or Serena Williams. That is the exact paradox. On paper, this makes zero sense. You have legendary superstars walking around the grounds, totally ignored while security guards are actually struggling to hold back crowds, desperate for a single glimpse of this rising star. Casual fans might see this madness and write it off as a lucky viral moment. They see the clips and figure it is just a fleeting internet trend driven by some digital fan base. It is easy to dismiss her as another overhyped teen who will eventually break under the pressure. But ESPN and the big networks, they are missing the real story here. What is happening in Madrid this week is not some lucky social media fluke. It is no accident. It is the result of a calculated takeover that has been brewing in the shadows for years. To understand why the tough Madrid press is losing their minds, we have to look at Alex Eala's roots. She spent years grinding through the brutal daily sessions at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca. She did not show up in Spain as some random tourist. This is her second home. The locals see her as their own, and that academy badge earns her instant respect. They have watched her master the red clay since she was a kid learning the game's geometry. But that local connection, that is only half the story. Mix that European respect with the absolute tidal wave of support coming from the Philippines. The Filipino fan base is legendary, easily one of the most loyal groups on the internet. They show up in massive numbers online and in person, no matter the time zone. When those two forces collide, you get the perfect storm. Look at April 18th. Videos hit the web showing her just walking off a practice court. Within hours, those specific clips absolutely exploded on TikTok and Twitter. Millions watched her sign a few autographs and wave to the cheering crowd. This is a cultural phenomenon you rarely see for anyone outside the absolute top 10. Media outlets are calling it the Eala effect. It is a terrifying level of momentum for someone so young. Sponsors are scrambling and organizers are drowning in ticket requests just for her practice sessions. It is a truly fascinating sociological event playing out right in front of us. You have this young athlete effortlessly bridging the gap between a rabid digital fandom and the old-school European tennis world. It feels like a Hollywood script. You can literally feel the electricity in the air. Everyone wants a piece of the history she's writing this season. But a famous academy and a massive home fan base will not scare the Grand Slam champions. Hype does not win matches. Viral videos will not help you return a heavy topspin forehand from the world's best. Fame can be a destructive distraction if you do not know how to handle it. The real secret to this takeover is happening behind the closed doors of the practice courts. You are probably realizing this story is about much more than just a popular teenager playing tennis. If you are curious about the blueprint she is using to dismantle the tennis elite, you should probably hit the subscribe button now so you do not miss the rest of this breakdown. Those viral million-view TikToks only show the glamour of her signing autographs for fans. Forget the hype. Real experts are obsessing over one thing: her absolutely terrifying training intensity. Trading blows with Iga Swiatek on a practice court and not blinking. That's next level. You're officially a nightmare for the tour. To get this radical physical shift, you've got to look deeper. Ignore the cameras and the fame. Focus on the raw, ugly grind of the sport. Madrid's red clay is a meat grinder. It snaps seasoned pros like twigs. It is slow, brutal. Any tiny crack in your cardio or leg strength exposed instantly. Eala isn't just surviving 3-hour sessions in the Spanish sun. She's out-hitting the world's biggest stars. Word is, She's been going toe-to-toe with absolute monsters of the game like Arina Sabalenka. Against a power hitter like Sabalenka, you usually have exactly two choices. Retreat 5 feet and pray, or swing wildly and hope it stays in the stadium. Eala, she went with a much more dangerous third option. She hugged the baseline and took everything early, right off the bounce. Robbing the world's biggest hitters of time requires insane eyes and even crazier footwork. It's a message: your best shot doesn't scare me. That's a cold reality for any opponent. Most 20-year-olds just hope they don't look stupid out there. They're just trying to survive. Not Eala. She walks on court to dictate exactly how things are gonna go. She eats that heavy pace and spits it back with surgical precision. It's honestly terrifying. She won't be bullied. Remember Miami 2025. That's when she blew the hierarchy apart. She stepped onto those scorching Florida courts and systematically broke the world #1. This wasn't some fluke or a bad day for the other girl. It was a tactical masterclass, period. Miami was stunned. A teenager just completely neutralized the scariest baseline game on tour. No safe tennis here. She ripped winners down the line when the pressure was suffocating. She ate those ground strokes and forced the top seed into desperate, awkward lunges in the corners. That win proved it to everyone: she's got giant killer DNA. It's hard-coded into her. But look, moving that aggression from hard courts to slippery European clay, it's the hardest jump in tennis. Plenty of hard-court stars look like clumsy amateurs once they hit the dirt. They slide late, mistime everything. They lose their minds during 20-shot rallies. It's ugly. The clay doesn't lie. It exposes every tiny flaw you're trying to hide. That's why her Madrid training is terrifying the top seeds right now. Big red flags. Leaked footage shows she's already mastered the sliding. Her movement is perfectly tuned for clay. She's gliding into forehands with the kind of grace you only see from Spanish legends. Her legs look stronger. She's cranking out massive topspin even when she's backed into a corner. The sheer violence of her game right now, it doesn't match her friendly Instagram vibes. It's messing with her opponents' heads. A total mental trap. TikTok dances in the morning, ruthless baseline machine in the afternoon. It's a scary combo. Honestly, you'd think cracking the top 30 in Miami was her peak for the year, but her team is sending a much scarier message. Nobody realizes how big this is. Great players and slam winners are different. It's all about how they handle crushing pressure. Talent gets you in the door, but your mind? That's what does the heavy lifting. Her dad recently dropped a message that sent a chill through the whole locker room. He said it clearly: if you really want to be a lion, you've got to embrace the lion's den. He made it clear his daughter is a predator on the rise. This specific psychological framework is the exact moment everything shifts in how we understand her rise. This is a total revolution. It completely flips the script on how we see her entire career. The absolute media chaos in Madrid right now isn't some annoying distraction she's just being forced to deal with. Actually, she craves it. It's an electric environment that she deliberately engineered herself, while other top seeds hide in their quiet hotel rooms, trying to protect their fragile mental peace. Iga's standing right in the eye of the storm. She's actively feeding off the frantic energy of those massive crowds. Every camera flash and every screaming fan is just premium fuel for her competitive engine. Seeing this kind of psychological warfare from someone this young, it's incredibly rare. Most teenage stars just crumble the second that blinding international spotlight hits them. They tighten up on big serves. They start second-guessing every natural shot they take. Eventually, they just collapse under the crushing weight of national expectations and media pressure. But Iga, she uses that exact pressure to sharpen her focus. Before we look at her tactical dominance on clay, I want to hear from you. What do you think about this extreme mentality? Does thriving in pure absolute chaos make someone a guaranteed future champion? Or is it actually just a recipe for burning out before 25? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm honestly curious to see how you analyze this kind of mindset. Embracing absolute chaos is a massive advantage. Honestly, you just can't teach that. When a match gets complicated and the scoreboard starts getting tight, The player who feels most at home in the fire is the one who wins. Imagine walking onto center court at the Chaha Magica for a high-stakes match against her. It's not just her top spin you have to beat. You're fighting thousands of fans aggressively screaming for your downfall. Then there's the Spanish media. They're hyping her up to the sky, and that's a lot to handle. Then there's the pressure of an entire Asian nation cheering for your downfall. It's mentally heavy. She weaponizes the entire environment to suffocate her opponents before they even hit the first ball. The veterans on tour, they can feel the energy shifting. They know playing her right now is a trap. If they win, big deal. They just beat a 20-year-old challenger. Lose and they're just another humiliated victim in her viral highlight reel. The tension is all on them. She has absolutely nothing to lose and everything in the world to gain. She's hunting top seeds with the cold-blooded aggression of an apex predator completely off her leash. That's what happens when a hungry lion learns to hunt right in the middle of a hurricane. The real question isn't whether she'll reach the top 10 anymore. The only question left is who her next victim will be at the Caja Magica. Numbers don't lie. Hitting world number 29 last month wasn't some lucky peak in form. It was a direct result of tactical evolution on clay. Hitting the top 30 by age 20 puts her in an exclusive and terrifying class of elite athletes. This growth curve closely mirrors some of the most dominant legends the sport has ever seen. But the undeniable proof isn't just in the rankings or the data. You have to look at the raw tactical data from her latest matches to see why the veterans are so terrified. Let's break down the mechanics. Over the last 6 months, her first serve percentage jumped from a shaky 58% to a dominant 68%. That single statistical leap fundamentally changes the entire math of a pro tennis match. She's no longer starting points on her back foot, scrambling on defense to survive. She's taking absolute control of the rally with that very first heavy strike. Furthermore, her return against top seeds has transformed into a massive lethal weapon. She's not just blocking the spin back anymore. She's stepping inside the baseline and crushing those second serves early. She robs them of recovery time and ruthlessly forces the next shot while they're still reeling. The accuracy is purely surgical. Let's look at the tactical masterclass that puts her miles ahead of every other rising star. Most young pros absolutely loathe the soul-crushing grind of the red clay. They're raised on fast, hard courts where flat hitting pays off, but on slow European dirt, their game just crumbles. The ball kicks way too high right out of their comfort zone. They try to blast flat winners through the muck and end up racking up dozens of unforced errors. But Eaga, she flipped the script entirely. She completely rebuilt her swing path during the winter training block. By dropping her racket head those extra few inches, she's ripping heavy topspin that explodes right into her opponent's shoulders. This one tweak shuts down power hitters who live and die by flat speed. When a heavy ball jumps that high, you can't attack it. You're physically forced to just float it back and hope for the best. And the second that ball floats up, Iga is right there on the baseline to murder it. It's a calculated trap she springs over and over with zero mistakes. You can see the veterans just losing it. Their body language screams pure frustration. They've got no answer for this spin. And here's the thing. The TV commentators are totally missing right now. Most fans ignore the early clay tournaments and just wait for the slams to start. But this Madrid run is the moment the whole system finally broke. The elite top 5 always rely on a specific safety net when they're under fire. When they're pulled wide, they use that high slice squash shot to buy time and crawl back to the center. Iga designed her court position to hunt down and punish that exact habit. Instead of backing off after a wide angle, she charges straight for the service line. She snatches that floating slice right out of the air before it even touches the dirt. She takes their most reliable defense and turns it into a high-speed winner. It's a genius move. She's literally stealing seconds from the fastest athletes on earth. They physically cannot keep up with her new hitting patterns. With skills from that Mallorca academy and a cold-blooded killer instinct, she's solved the whole puzzle. And that brings us to a truth the tennis world has to swallow. This Madrid explosion is just the prologue to a much bigger global story. Alexia is proving she isn't just playing for the Philippines or looking for local fame. She is dismantling the global power structure of the whole tour. This isn't just about a trophy in Spain. We're watching a new kind of global icon being born. She blends internet-era hype with the cold, hard efficiency of a winning machine. She's carrying the dreams of millions on her back, but she wears that weight like a titanium shield, not a burden. Kids all over Southeast Asia are grabbing rackets because they see themselves in her. She is actively smashing through the barriers of a sport usually owned by the West. The whole scene is shifting right under the sport's feet. Former world number ones are looking over their shoulders at a 20-year-old who won't blink. She's mastered the physical grind, the tactical geometry, and the mental warfare it takes to stay on top. The gatekeepers can't ignore the tidal wave coming for them anymore. The Chaha Magica has become a literal lion's den. Everything is ready, and trust me, the entire world is holding its breath to see her next move. Pressure is through the roof. We are at a total boiling point. Could this historic week in Madrid crown a brand new champion and flip the tennis hierarchy on its head forever? How far does she go? Give me your picks. Drop those predictions in the comments section below right now. If you want to see how those bold calls play out and catch the full tactical breakdown of this insane season, stick around. Hit that subscribe button. I will see you in the next video.